What would you do if you're lost in the middle of nowhere in a forest with no food or supplies? You probably think you're going to die, right? And how many of you have ever been in a survival situation? Me either, but from what I hear, it's terrifying, obviously. But it's important to keep the right mental state, to stay confident and know what type of situation you're in. I used to be in Boy Scouts, and I have a little knowledge on this subject. In order to stay alive in the wilderness, you have to know the basic principles which will keep you alive. There are 4 main principles to follow in order to survive in the wilderness. Bear Grylls follows these principles, and the first 2 are food and water. You obviously need food to survive. Eating the littlest plants can mean the difference between life or death. Eating berries and mushrooms are great to eat, but they can also be poisonous. Learning how to hunt and set traps can get you the meal with protein, rather than forcing yourself to eat a nasty bug. Even eating raw meat can boost your energy enough to stay alive. Water is also needed to survive, but how can you get pure H2O that's not contaminated? In Bear Grylls' YouTube video, How to Stay Alive, he demonstrates a way to purify water from a dirty puddle by getting a hollow stick and fills it with charcoal and grass and puts a little bit of his t-shirt over the top to act as a filtering device that gets rid of all the parasites. Boiling water is a way of uncontaminating it because it destroys all of the bacteria. Food and water are good for your health, but what can protect your body? Protection starts as shelter and fire. Shelter can be as simple to make. You can use sticks and leaves to make a shelter, and the leaves act like shingles on a roof that repel water. Shelter will protect you from possibly animals and harsh weather. According to Judy Diamond and Alan B. Bond in the article, The Visual Trickery of Obscured Animals, they explain how the use of camouflage helps animals to not be seen by their predators. Us humans can also use that trick to not be seen by a big mountain lion or something. We all know how bad the winters are here in Iowa. Building a shelter will keep yourself from freezing into an icicle. Another thing that will protect you is fire. In John L. Wiseman's SAS Survival Handbook on page 244, he explains how to use a bow technique to make a fire. This involves making a bow and wrapping the string around a stick and maneuvering the bow, which makes friction. And this is an example of the bow technique. You just do that, and it'll create friction down here. This is a great technique to make if you don't have the right technology like a lighter or flint and steel. Fire is crucial to have and will prevent you from getting hypothermia. It will also shoo away bugs and predators, and it will cook food and boil water. In Dale Collett's YouTube video, How to Survive in the Wilderness, he describes how building a fire creates psychological closure that helps with the panicking and makes you feel more at home, which keeps your mind at a stronger mental state. Fire is also a good way to get a person's attention to hopefully get yourself rescued. Having an open fire is important because it can be seen from miles away. Having a compass is also very important. It can save your life. But if you don't have a compass, there is a trick you can do that acts the same way as a compass does. In Bear Grylls' YouTube video, How to Stay Alive, he develops a makeshift compass by rubbing a bobby pin on his hair, which creates static electricity, and then he places it on a leaf that floats in the water, and then the bobbing pin will act as a compass. In the magazine of Western History on page 31, it states that knowing the way that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and knowing that moss grows on trees, on the north side of trees, can even save your life. Another logical way to get rescued is having a mirror or something reflective to try and get like an airplane's attention or someone on a boat. It can be seen from a long way away. So if you end up even surviving, you can say by following the principles, they can help you survive. Bear Grylls has never underestimated Mother Nature and has followed these principles like the ones I just described. So I hope all of you gain knowledge on this, and if someday you're ever in a survival situation, you can use these tips.